morning. Today I will briefly explain consumer choice and the rising demand for electric vehicles in Malaysia. EV demand has grown rapidly with registration increased by over 100% in 2025 to more than 44,000 units. This trend can be explained using consumer theory where consumers aim to maximize utility within their budget constraint. First, government incentives play a major role. Tax exemption and lower road tax significantly reduce the cost of EVs, making them more affordable and relaxing consumer budget constraints. Second, the lower total cost of ownership. Although EV may be expensive upfront, they are cheaper to run and maintain. This makes them more attractive in the long term. Third, environmental awareness. Consumers are increasingly choosing EVs because they are cleaner and help reduce carbon emission. Finally, the availability and great charging infrastructure, more affordable EV models and improved charging access reduce range anxiety and make EVs more practical. Application of consumer theory is consumer choose EV to maximize utility as they are often cost savings, environmental benefit and modern technology. In terms of budget constraint, EV were previously seen as superior good due to the high price. However, incentive and cheaper models have made them accessible to more consumers. Lastly, substitution and income effect explain the shift from petrol cars to EVs. As fuel prices rise, EV become relatively cheaper to operate, leading to consumers to substitute towards EVs. At the same time, higher fuel costs reduce real income, discouraging spending on fuel-intensive vehicles. In conclusion, EV demand in Malaysia is increasing due to government support, cost advantages and changing preferences. Consumers are making rational decisions to maximize satisfaction while adapting to economic conditions.
Now, I will explain the market structure of the EV industry in Malaysia. The EV market is best described as an oligopoly, meaning it is dominated by a few large firms. The main players include Proton EMAS, BYD, Tesla, and Chery. These firms control most of the market share, which shows a high level of market concentration. There are also high barriers to entry. New firms need a large capital investment. Advanced technology and most complete with government regulations. This makes it difficult for new competitors to enter the market. Firms in this industry also engage in strategic behavior. For example, when one company lowers its price, competitors often respond quickly to stay competitive. There's product differentiation as well. Tesla focuses on brand and technology, while Proton emphasizes national identity and affordability. In addition, the change in infrastructure market is also oligopolist, led by companies like Gentry and Chancini. Overall, this market structure leads to strong competition, which benefits consumers through low price and more choice. However, it may also reduce profit for firms in the long run.
Next, I will discuss government intervention in the EV market, focusing on the price ceiling on changing service. A price ceiling is a maximum price set by the government for it to be effective. It must be set below the market equilibrium price. In this case, the government may introduce a price ceiling to make EV charging more affordable and encourage EV adoption. However, according to economic theory, the type of intervention can lead to several unintended consequences. First, there will be a shortage of charging service. when the price is set below the equilibrium level. Changing points operators and leads will to supply survives because they earn lower revenue. At the same time, consumer and more willing to use changing service because the price is cheaper. This creates excess demand, leading to long queues, waiting time, and reduced availability of changing stations. Second, the price ceiling reduces incentives for infrastructure investment. Building EV charging structures requires high capital costs, especially for faster DC charges and power grid upgrades. If firms cannot earn sufficient profit due to price restrictions, they may delay or cancel their investment plans. This is especially problematic in rural or low-demand areas where investment is already less attractive. Third, service quality may be decline in order to manage lower profits. Firms may cut costs by reducing maintenance or switching to slower and chapter changing options. As a result, consumers may experience more fancy charging station and longer charging times. Overall, while the policy aims to benefit consumers by lowering prices, it can actually create inefficiencies in the market instead of improving accessibility. It may lead to shortage, underinvestment, and lower service quality in the long run.
I will continue part 3 by its impact on market efficiency. First, consumer surplus. Some consumers benefit from lower prices, but many cannot access charging services due to shortages. This reduces all satisfaction. Second, producer surplus decreases significantly because farms earn less revenue. Finally, the market suffers. The economy works less well because resources are not used in the right way. Few charging services are provided, even though people want them. This makes the charging network weak and incomplete. So government rules like price limits often make the market less efficient, not better.
Finally, I will be presenting our policy recommendation for the electric vehicle market in Malaysia. The main problem we identify is the limited availability of EV charging stations. This reduces consumer convenience and restricts demand because many consumers are not willing to switch to EVs without reliable charging access. To address the issue, we propose that the government provides subsidies to firms that invest in EV charging infrastructures. From an economic perspective, this subsidy reduces the cost of production for firms. As a result, the supply of charging services will increase, shifting the supply curve to the right. This leads to more charging stations and lower charging costs. For consumers, better access and lower costs increase the attractiveness of EVs compared to petrol vehicles. This creates a substitution effect. where consumers switch from petrol cars to EV cars. For firm, the subsidy encouraged more companies to enter the market, reducing barriers to entry and increasing competition. In the long run, this can improve service quality and innovation. In terms of market efficiency, this policy helps correct a market failure caused by positive externalities. EV usage reduce pollution and benefits society, but these benefits are not reflected in market prices. By encouraging EV adoption, the policy increases overall social welfare. In conclusion, subsidizing EV charging infrastructure can increase EV adoption, support firm growth, and improve market efficiency in Malaysia. Thank you.